Welcome back to another video. Cruising the golf cart. We're going to be getting these leaf springs off of this donor truck over here. It's windy day here in California. So we are going to be using the leaves off of this truck here. Looks like they bolt up where they should. So the reason we are doing these leaves is because they're 3-inch. The leaves are 3-inch, which our other axle was mounted to 3-inch leaves. So that'll make it so we can use all the hardware. And then this gap here between the frame and the leaf springs is higher. So that means we will have more distance to be able to slap our axle on top and not worry about hitting on the frame. So yeah, hopefully it goes smooth. Hopefully everything comes off easy. And yeah, let's get going on it. So we almost have these off. What sucks is this front bolt here is underneath that leaf. So you have to pull the pin off the leaf and take out the whole leaf off the bracket so that you can get to that bottom, that front bolt, which kind of sucks, but luckily these pins were serviced somewhat regularly, so there's a lot of grease on them, so that came out fairly good. Yeah, once we get that side off, then this bolt's got a lot of chud on it. It'll be, yeah. Yeah, you just never know how these things are going to come apart when it comes all the rust on them. So it's always a surprise. A lot of the stuff though on this truck's been coming off fairly good. I don't know if it's because it was a government vehicle. They probably had mandatory greasing times and everything on them, weekly probably, so that's probably good. Like our truck, it's also 10 years older, but it was a lot more neglected too. So yeah, get this off and then we can go in and see if we can slap them on the truck. that's a slam truck. That'd be sweet to go that low. They're just pretty much getting rid of everything. Leaf springs. Drops it a lot. That'd be sweet.
Especially if you drop the tires like we did low profile tires.
Yeah, if you did low profile tires, the front axle would be like 3 inches off the ground. Well, we got everything off. These are freaking heavy. Probably weigh easily 300 pounds each. Maybe not that much. Very close though. They just made everything back then so beefy. Solid cast. Yeah, let's go into the shop and see if we can bolt these up. Should be pretty easy. I think all the holes are there. So let's do that. Well, here we are back inside, looking at the frame. Looks like everything's going to work perfect. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts on the side, 4 for the front. And then, I don't know if we'll be able to see. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, can't see them all. Anyways, there's 4 bolts back there that match up the same for these rear mounts here. So boom, 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 boom. So I think we should be able to just slap these suckers on and be done, which is kind of sweet. Gotta love plug and play stuff. See if it will cooperate, of course. Here's a little update where we are. We have the front mounts on, rear mounts on, and the leaves are just hanging there. What we had to do to get here, we had to drill out all the holes in the frame because they weren't big enough for the bolts. The rivets that they had before were just a hair smaller, so we just drilled them out a tiny bit. Then we were able to just use the same bolts that we got from the 1800 out there. And yeah, there's already holes for everything, so everything is bolted right in. So we left them hanging. What we're going to do is get that front axle, bring it in here, set it in there, then lift up these springs, put the pin in, and then we can figure out how we're going to mount and what we need to do to mount the front axle. So yeah, everything's going super smooth. If you're doing this swap, I would recommend to either already have an 1800 Loadstar or look for one for a donor truck, because it makes, if you're planning on upgrading the axle, if you're not worried about doing disc brakes and everything, you don't have to worry about it, because you can probably just get away with the stock front axle and everything. But since we wanted to do disc hydraulic brakes all around, we had to get different axle, and most likely the axle you get isn't going to be able to work with the 1600 2.5 inch leaf springs. So that's just food for thought for you guys that are doing this. The 1800 already has the 3 inch springs, 3 inch wide springs, and makes it compatible with a lot more front ends. So yeah, let's bring that front axle in here and finish it up. Well, this is our setup for, we were just gonna use the forklift to hold it up and then swing up the leaf springs, put the pins in and drop the axle down on the leaves. But our forks are like the same width as the leaves, and so they were in the way, which made it so we couldn't swing them. Luckily, Ryan's grandpa built us this awesome hoist. So we just got some U-bolts from one of our donor trucks, put them through there, put some nuts on, and then we were able to lift the entire axle up with that. So it's pretty sweet. I know a lot of people aren't going to have this set up, so good luck. I don't know how you're going to do it, but this is how we were able to do it. I think we're just gonna swing these leaves up, put the pins in, and call it a day, because it's getting late and I'm tired. But yeah, that's probably pretty close to where the axle is gonna sit, and that looks freaking sweet. That makes me excited. So yeah, we'll swing these leaves up and then call it a day. Well, she sat down on top of the springs, leaves went up, pretty easy. Kind of where she's going to sit, however much the springs are going to compress. Right now we have about 2.5–3 inches clearance for the oil pan and the front axle, so hopefully that's enough. And if not, we might have to move it up again, but we'll see. That looks awesome though. I like how much it lowered it. Sweet. I think that's it for today though. Well guys, I think that's it for today. We made a lot of progress, which I'm pretty stoked on. I love being able to see where that front axle is going to sit and how much it's going to lower the truck. It's really showing the style of this truck's going to have being lowered, and it's excited to see that. So I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next. We need to figure out how we're going to mount the axle to the leaf springs. Need to do some research and see how people do that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up with the build, and hit the thumbs up button. That really helps me out, and we will catch you guys up on the next video. Peace.